Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. Let's start this morning. We're going to continue our discussion of sheep and shepherding and how a messianic sign is the shepherding of his people. Matthew 25, it says, all nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them one from another as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. And he will set the sheep on his right hand, which is the hand of blessing, of course, the right hand, but the goats on his left. And even sheep and goats even eat on different pastures. Goats can eat almost anywhere. They eat on rocky areas and pull out grass. Sheep have to have very specialized pasture because they can't get up into the rocks. In Revelation 5, it says this, and I looked and behold, in the midst of the throne and of the four living creatures, in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as though it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God. And he came and took the scroll out of the right hand of him who is on the throne. And when he had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb. In Psalm 23, which is, of course, the shepherd's psalm, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. Well, the shepherd's responsibility is to make sure that the sheep keep moving from pasture to pasture. Left to their own, the sheep will pull the grass right out of the ground and destroy the pasture land. He leads me beside the still waters. Sheep will not drink from turbid and turbid water. The shepherd has to make a pool from the stream because sheep are concerned that if they get wet, they're going to drown. They're going to fall in and be saturated with water. And so he makes a pool for them, a little still pool, so that they can drink. He waters the shepherd. And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff. Now the shepherd carries a staff, a long staff, which extends his arm to touch the sheep, so they know his touch. And the rod is a short, stocky piece of wood that he would carry and learn how to throw to drive away wolves and other predators from the sheep. So they said, your rod and your staff, they comfort us. When we see that, we know we're okay. You anoint my head with oil. When the sheep get in the spring and summer, the flies and things get around them, they anoint them with their heads with oil. And so that it keeps away the flies and it keeps away the larvae so that they don't get bothered. They'll drive them insane by laying eggs in their nostrils, and they can't scratch it, and it will drive them crazy. So the shepherd has to be responsible to make sure that he anoints their head with spiced oils so that he keeps the pests away. And finally, the shepherd even acts as a gate, because when it's time for them to go into a pen, they pass through the shepherd's legs, and he touches them and feels over them to make sure that there are no cuts or bruises or any damage to the sheep. And he counts them, so he knows that he has all the sheep that he started with. They trust the shepherd, and they know his touch. God bless you, and we'll see you again next time.